Hey everyone, welcome to a new video, welcome to my channel. My name is Maika and today I have a super exciting video for you because I already got my hands on the new Catrice products for the fall winter season of 2020. I decided to place an order at Cosmetic for Less, which is a German retailer that ships Catrice in Essence internationally. And I saw most of the products that I was interested in already on there. So I was like, why hold out until the Dutch drugstore has them if I can already buy them from here and it's just as expensive? So that's what I did. So that's why I have nearly a full face of all new Catrice for you here today. The only thing I'm missing is a new powder, blush, and bronzer, but I will just rotate in existing products that I already have by Catrice so that we can really do a full face of Catrice here. There were two products that I wanted to get that they didn't have in stock yet. So I'm just gonna try those out later when the products are available here, and that's the hydrating primer. And there's a new range of lipsticks and one of the shades wasn't in stock. So I'm just going to hold off on that for a minute. But let's just get cracking and slap everything on this face because I'm super excited. So because I'm missing that primer, I thought I could go in with a slightly different product for my base. And this is the Glow Beautifying Face Oil. And the brand says on the back that you can either use this on its own, so as a bit of a skincare item, but it also can be used as a base under makeup. So I tried the face oil by Essence from their Bloom Baby Bloom line this spring and quite enjoyed that, but I thought it was a bit too rich for like the spring summer season. So I was like, I'm gonna hold off on that for the fall winter season. And now Catrice do a very similar product. This boasts to contain 4 different oils: almond, jojoba, argan, and rose. And it's a glow, which you need to shake. So I already just shook it up to take pictures for swatches, but you can see it's like a milky, almost clear sort of thing. And then when you shake it up, I'm not sure you can see this, but it gets a little bit darker, and then you can also see little particles in this. So it looks like it's got glitter in it, but when I swatched it on the back of my hand, I didn't see any of those glitter particles, but it did look very glowy and it also felt very hydrating. So can't wait to put this on my face. It's got a little dropper, as you can see. And I think am I gonna do it like the Instagram worthy way? Yeah, I can't deal, hold on. I'll just do it like this because I don't also want this to be like too much as a base, you know? I don't want there to be too much oil on my face. And I love a good face oil as part of my like skincare routine any time of day. So I think I'll just rub this in. It does have a bit of a scent, oh yeah, now I can smell the rose. You can definitely smell that, but it's not super overwhelming. It's quite a pleasant, natural scent. Moving on then to another sort of more like, is it makeup, is it skincare kind of thing? And it's their Hydro Depuffing Serum. So last winter, I think for the spring summer, Catrice first started doing more like skincare kind of items, which I think this face oil is also more promoted like that, like a skincare item than anything else. And this just sounds interesting. I used to have something like this from Garnier years ago, and I really liked it for depuffing my under eyes. Since I always have a bit of puffiness there, I'm just gonna slap it on. I definitely need to try this out in the morning and see if it actually does it, but oh yeah, that roller ball feels nice and cooling on the skin. And this is not necessarily like an eye cream kind of thing, but I remember really liking this as like a first step in like my makeup routine. And just put this on first, and then it sort of really took care of like any fine lines that I have, and that the concealer just didn't crease as much, and I remember really liking it for that. Catrice also has a new waterproof eyeshadow primer, and this is supposed to be mattifying. And I remember, I think 2 years ago or maybe a year ago, they also did an eyeshadow primer that I really enjoyed. I really thought it was a good eyeshadow primer. So I know Catrice can do good eyeshadow primers. This has a bit of a shade to it, but it does sort of go on clear once you spread it out. So I'm just gonna put a little bit of this on. As you can see, it's got a bit of a tint, but then when you spread it out, you can't really see it anymore. So this is not going to block out your lids or anything like that. This is definitely the kind of eyeshadow primer that's just going to prime your lids for eyeshadow, making sure it doesn't budge. And in case you're new here, you should know that I double prime my lids because else it will budge. Because of the deep set hoodedness of my eyes, it's not going to work. Are we excited for this step? I am. They've got a new foundation and concealer. This is the True Skin foundation and concealer. Now you need to know that I bought this in the lightest shade possible in 002 Neutral. I believe it was the lightest shade they do, and I mean, if I hold the foundation up, it may be just a little bit light for this time of year, but I know from experience that Catrice foundations can run quite dark and quite yellow, and I've got a neutral, cool undertone. So for me, I'd rather have my foundation be a little bit too light than too orange and just not matching very well with my neck down here, because this is usually really, really light on me. So, and since I don't have much of a jawline going on, I just really needed to seamlessly, you know, smooth into my skin tone. So I'd rather have it be too light and match down here, and then add bronzer and do all of that to make it look a little bit more natural than have a shade that is a bit too dark. And I just swatched it on the back of my hand, and I thought this looks very, very yellow. It does look quite light and pale on the viewfinder, I have to say, but it just looks quite yellow. So I think the shade of this may not be the greatest. This is supposed to be a hydrating foundation, so with my dry skin, I'm super happy about it, because Catrice hasn't really done a good hydrating foundation in a while, I feel. And the ones that they did do were discontinued really quickly. So I hope that this works well. I already felt the texture when I swatched it, and I thought it was really nice. Okay, so yes, pale, but this is definitely not pale enough for like the palest of the pale people. Like, I feel I can get away with it because, as you can see here, my neck, I didn't even really try to blend it down yet, but you can see I don't have a weird line going down here. So this is actually the shade that I need. So I'm now looking very pale and ghostly. I do have to apologize for that. But as you can see, if you just look at my neck, it does really blend in there. So I think that that's okay. It is perhaps a hair too yellow for my complexion. But again, I feel it's not that terrible that it's not something I can correct with like bronzer, highlighter, and blush. Texture-wise, it feels very pleasant. It is quite thin and runny, as I said. So I can also definitely see that. It does have good pigmentation. I have to say that, you know, if you just look at the pigment and the coverage you get from the pigment alone, then that's pretty nice. It does, I'm not sure if you can see that, but it seems to sort of catch on to my dry patch that I have here around my nose. I'm not sure if you can see that. So far, I'm happy with this one. But of course, I'm gonna have to try this so much more. So now it's time for concealer. And this is the True Skin Concealer, and I've got it in the same shade, 002, and I actually feel that this concealer looks darker when I swatch it than the foundation. So how is this the same shade? I don't know. It has this really large, like, doe foot that is a little bit more, like, pointed. It's more like an iron, like a clothing iron. It has that sort of shape. So let me see how this goes. Oh. On my face, it doesn't look as deep as it does on my as it does on the back of my hand. Yeah, so the concealer has a stronger yellow undertone. That's what it is. It's not necessarily dark so much, but it's more yellow toned. Ooh. I'm liking the look of that concealer, you guys. On my under eyes, it looks so natural. I can still see a little bit of my dark circles peeping through it, but I don't really mind that because I feel like I don't need to cancel out everything I feel, because if I want my makeup to look a little bit more natural and like right for every day, I don't mind if little bits of skin can still be visible through the product. I think this concealer is really nice. It feels very nice and hydrating. It's got a fairly thin texture. It's not very thick. Ooh. I think this is a pretty good base. Like yes, it's pale, but we'll fix that in a minute. As I mentioned, I'm much more concerned with this matching than how pale all of this looks, because usually I find that once the rest of my makeup is done, it looks okay. So now I'm gonna go in with a product that isn't new, but that is by Catrice. It's their 5-in-1 setting powder. Okay, so I'm moving on with brows, and they say this is new, but I'm fairly sure I used a Slim'matic ultra precise brow pencil by Catrice before. So maybe they changed the formula. I'm not entirely sure. It was listed as new on their website. This is in the shade 015 Ash Blonde, and I'm not too sure about this shade. I'm not sure if you can see that, but it looks a little red. So I'm just gonna whack it into my brows and we'll see. All right, so the shade isn't super offensive. It's an okay shade, I would say. I'm noticing that my brows look a little uneven. Hold on. So yeah, the shade isn't all that bad, and this is a nice enough pencil, but given the fact that it already breaks off straight away and I hadn't twisted it up that far, I'm not sure how long you'd last with this one. And let me see how much product. You only get 0.05 grams of product, so it's a very, very small amount of product. This is like one of those brow products you can use up in like 2 weeks if you use it every single day. I'm pretty sure it's one of those. I generally, like, overall, I've got some good experiences with Catrice brow stuff, but also some bad ones, so I'm not sure how I feel about that. So now it's time for cheeks. I've got blush, bronzer, and highlight here, but only one of those products is new. So I'm quickly going to tell you what I'll be using for bronzer and blush, and then we'll focus on the highlight in a minute. But I'm going to be using the Clean ID Mineral Bronzer in light medium and the Blush Box Glowing and Multicolor in It's Wine O'Clock. And this is one of those like mosaic kind of blushes. This is a lovely blush, and the shade is perfect for the fall time. I also have a peachy one that is also really lovely, but that one I prefer in the spring-summer season. So I'll use that. And I have several Catrice bronzers by now that I quite like, but I thought I could go back to this. This is also part of their standard line, and the other bronzers I have by Catrice are more from their like their limited edition bronzer collection that they do every year, and I tried the one they did this year. So I'm gonna go with this because this one I know you can still get if you can get your hands on Catrice. The Clean ID line is one that is vegan, all natural, and they are expanding this line with other products as time progresses, which is why I thought I could use that. But that's not what's new. The thing that's new are their highlighters. They have come out with the More Than Glow highlighter. It comes in 3 different shades, of which I bought the lightest one. I think this way you can see it the best, like, woo, sunlight. It's quite a sunny day today. So this is Ultimate Platinum Gaze. It also comes in a pinky tone and in a golden tone, but this looked really yellow in a lot of the pictures I could find online. But now that I have it, it seems to be more of like a white gold. Look at how pretty, like how stunning is that for fair skin like mine? Like, this is just perfection. And it has that sort of cream to powder kind of feel to it, like almost this gelée kind of thing that you see much more high-end brands do. So this is a lovely highlighter, and I can't wait to put it on my face because this feels really, really well done, and it's under €5. So if this is good, we've got ourselves a really good affordable highlighter again, folks. But first, bronzer. Time for the highlighter. So I'm putting a little more on than I normally would, but yes. I feel that on camera, this side always shows up better than this side, but for me in real life, this side shows up better, but oh, isn't that stunning? That's like the perfect highlighter for my pale skin. Catrice, thank you, because the previous ones they did, the 3D glow ones, those only came in like a very white shade, and then the next shade up was like super pink, so it wasn't really right for my complexion. This, oh, I love it. Really, really pretty. Time for blush. How do we feel about that? I've got a little bit more color in my face now, definitely with that bronzer. I do have to say that the bronzer is perhaps a little bit stark against the foundation, but we'll check in a little bit because of course I've got much more else to do. Let me just do that. All right, so I quickly did my double priming action, which if you've been following me for longer, you know, MAC Pink Potted Paisley Body Shop Color Crush eyeshadow in number 13, which has been discontinued. This is the last one I still have. But now we're moving on to eyes from Catrice. And I've got two things to try, and I'm not sure what I want to go with yet. So I hope I picked the right one that you are most excited for too. They are coming out with some new like mini eyeshadow palettes. They're like plastic, I think there are now 9 pans like that they've been doing for years. And those are always a little bit boring, the texture isn't the best. And then I spotted that they're doing this. I think they're doing 4 different ones, and I picked up the one that looked the most cool toned and therefore perhaps a little bit more neutral. This is the 5 in a box mini eyeshadow palette with rose oil, and this is in the shade 040 Modern Smoky Look. And I didn't really know what to expect of this, but then I saw it in real life and I'm like, Catrice, I didn't know you were trying to dupe Natasha Denona, because this is reminding me of those little mini palettes from Natasha Denona. And then I swatched it. And I was like, Catrice, like this is Catrice, you guys. Let me see if I can swatch it here on the back of my hand. I do have to say though that once I put my fingers to my hand, I'm like, are they really the best? But these really feel very buttery, very smooth. Like these mattes don't feel dry or flaky or patchy at all. So I'm actually super excited to try this one. Now that I've swatched it, I'm like, yep, I want to put this one on my face because I think that's a nice crease shade, and then that all over the lid. And we've got something for the inner corner, we've got something to deepen things up for the lower lash line, and we've got a blend shade. So for me, this is like 5 shades that if they work well, this could be like my new favorite travel palette, you guys. However, I also have the Vintage Soul Slim eyeshadow palette, and this is in their line. I think that they launched again this spring. They did a warm toned and a rosy toned one, and now for the fall time, they're doing this. Look at that color story. If you love cool tones, but you also wanted to go a little bit deeper, it's like Anastasia Sultry and Soft Glam had a baby. Like that's what this palette just reminds me of. Oh, and then Huda Beauty also had a say in it because it's got these like flaky kind of shades too. And again, like with this one, I'll just swatch a few just to humor you. So I've got a couple of the shimmers here because you know how much I like shimmer. I mean, for real? Now, let me swatch some other mattes. So just look at these swatches for a minute. Aren't these like stunning? So I'm super excited for both of these palettes. However, I already showed you and did a look with the one that I tried before from this line with the more rosy tones in the springtime. So to me, this isn't like super new. So for this video, I'm going to use this one. And then maybe in some Get Ready With Me or whatever, I can do this. I will definitely also be reviewing this up on my blog. So if you'd like to see the different looks that I do with this one, then definitely check that out. But can you, like, hello, that's Catrice. This is a €10 eyeshadow palette. This may be like $4.99 or $5.99. It's like, when did they start doing this? I don't know. Let me zoom you in so we can do a bit of an eye look. So I'm gonna go in with this little guy here, and I'm gonna go in with that middle shade. Okay, so I really like how that crease shade builds up, because you can definitely layer it and then build up the intensity. So that is a plus. Now let's see what happens if I take that deepest shade, which is like a navy almost. It's like a gray tone, like bluish grayish shade. Where is my brush? Making sure my brush is as clean as it can be, because I need to clean my brushes. I do apologize, but I was so excited to film this video. I was like, I can't wait for this. I just need to get this video up. So I'm gonna use this Zoeva Petite Crease brush to sort of push this into the outer V. Okay, so what I was afraid of happening isn't actually happening. The blue tone of that deepest shade is definitely shining through, and you can still see that like brown tone of the crease as well, so they don't muddy together completely. Now I'm just going to blend this out to make sure there are no harsh lines. I always, because of, you know, I'm no longer 18, so I always feel that, especially here in the inner corner, shadow skips a little bit. So that's why I like to do this step. But then we are going to, again, clean off a brush. This is the Zoeva Looks Defined Crease. And I'm going to take that creamy shade, and I'm going to use that to really blend that edge to make sure there is nothing here that is harsh. So I think that that makes for a nice, like, smoky look, you could say. Now, what I want to do, again, brush. This is a Sephora smudger brush that I've had for like a decade. I'm going to use that darkest shade and accentuate my lower lash line with it. And now the real test. Let's see how these shimmers work. So I'm going to go in with that blue tone shimmer, and I'm going to use it all over my eye. Almost looks like more of a teal. It looks like very like steely blue in the pan, but when I put it on my eyes, it has a certain like almost bright turquoise kind of shine to it. So now, because I want to make sure my shimmer is as intense as it can be, so I'm going to go in with my finger as well. Do you see how stunning that shade is? Life. It's right up my street. This is like, if you're looking for a good cool toned eyeshadow palette at the drugstore, I think this may be a really, really good one. Because I always feel like I lose that depth in the outer V when I do this. So I'm going to take that darkest shade and push it sort of like over again, so that we've got a bit more of a blend and that we got that darkness. And not experiencing a whole lot of fallout either with this. They are very powdery, these mattes, but not a lot of fallout at all, which I'm happy with. We're gonna finish off the look with that shiny champagne-y color in the inner corner, and I think I want to put that shimmering blue on the lower lash line as well. But first, this one. This also seems to have something bright, almost like a little bit of a pinkness to it. And now, just to make sure that we get a nice blend on everything, I think I'll just take my little, this is another Zoeva brush, this is this Looks Crease. I'm going to take that creamy shade again, and I'm just going to sort of blend all around it, also at the bottom. So that Okay, so I haven't yet put on mascara because I first want to do another step that is new before I can do that. But I have to say, I really like this look. This is my kind of smoky eyes. It's blue, but that shimmer is absolutely gorgeous. If this wears well, this is nice. This would be my new like travel palette. And such a fun one also for the holidays, I think. Catrice did a good job here. And I'll try the Vintage Soul one off camera. So what is this new thing that I want to show you before I do mascara? Because I tend to do setting spray before I do mascara because I find that it smudges otherwise. And this is the Shake Fix Glow Spray, hydrating with cactus flower and pineapple extract. And this is another one of those products, and it's now settled down. So you can see it's completely clear. And then I shake it up. It changes color, and there's also, again, like with the face oil at the start, I can see little particles that are reflecting, sort of like glitter, but again, I already gave it a spray on the back of my hand when I was swatching everything. And again, no noticeable sparkle once it's on the skin, plus it has a very fine mister. So, I'm gonna put this on and hope for the best. Ooh, it smells really nice. And it definitely takes away the powderiness of the rest of my makeup, which is good because I felt that it started to look a little bit powdery. That's, again, a reason why I use setting spray, you could say. So now, I can't say anything about this other than it smells nice. It's got a nice mister. Is this going to be a must-have? I don't know. I don't know. I'm going to have to try it more. That goes for all of these products, by the way. This is just first impressions, right? I didn't really try anything in full yet. All I did was swatch it. Time for mascara. There is a Catrice mascara here too, which is the Glam & Dull Waterproof. In case you don't know me, this is one of my favorite waterproof mascaras. I top all of my mascaras off with this one. Holy grail status, because it separates my lashes and it makes every single mascara smudge proof and just much more long lasting. Plus it's a great bottom lash mascara. Oh, and the other one I'm using is the Maybelline Lash Sensational, in case you care. Right, face is done, eyes are done, time for lips. And they have come out with some new lipsticks. I'm missing one of the lipsticks from one of these lines because I couldn't find it in stock. So these, I'm just gonna show you these so that you know that I have them. But it's the new Clean ID, what are these called? Ultra High Shine lipsticks. These come in 6 shades and I currently only have 5. We have Make It Nuder, Thank Nude Next, Nude Beach, Quite Peachy, and True Color. And these ones I will be using, but I actually want to do like one of those lipstick videos that I do with a lot of Catrice's lipstick lines. And I actually just want to use these then in that video and show you them. I haven't swatched these yet because I'm missing one shade. So before I can take pictures, I need to have all of the shades. Another new line that I do already have complete is their new Full Satin Nude. And this is what the bullet looks like. So they came out with the full satins in February and I already showed you all of the shades that are in that line. Make sure to link it in the eye above. And they have now come out with this nude collection. So we've got 010 full of braveness. We have 030 full of attitude, 050 full of boldness, full of courage is number 40, and we've got 020 full of strength. Now again, I'm not going to be using these in this video just yet because together with the Clean ID lipsticks, I want to put these into one giant overview where I try all 11 of them. Ooh, these are all falling over. So yeah, what I want to do is put the Clean ID and the Full Satin lipsticks together in one video, and hopefully I can do that sometime in October already. If I have that other shade, I'm just going to do one video where I'm going to review these, see how they wear. I know that the full satins are quite lovely in terms of texture, so if this is the same formula, I'm sure I'll like it. Not so sure about the high shine stuff. I'm usually not a super shiny lip person, but we'll see. Maybe it's really nice. And they are all neutrals, and I don't know why, but I just I want to do a red, and they came out with one new shade in their Demi Matte line, and this is 110 Redefine Love. And I saw this and I was like, that is a gorgeous deeper toned red. So I know I just want to put this on my face. I just do. Look at that shade. Isn't that lovely? So, so stunning. And I think it will go really well with this smoky eye. So there you have it. That would be my finished look, my full face of new Catrice stuff. I'm super excited. I definitely want to make sure to try all of these products a bit more. This is just a first impression, of course. And, you know, first impressions are only this, like, only have this much value. Essence is for sure going to update their line in the next couple of weeks as well. I think that will be out towards the end of October. So when they do theirs, then I will make sure to update you on that. And then when I've tried everything for like 2 or 3 months, sometime in November or December, I'm going to update you and give you a full roundup of all of my thoughts after having tried these products a little bit more. Lipstick review is definitely coming up in the next 2 or 3 weeks for sure. And then everything else will be popping up on my blog as per usual. So in case you're as excited as I am about these products, then please just give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more by me. And don't forget that you still have until next Saturday to enter my giveaway to celebrate 10 years of blogging. I'll make sure to link the blog post in the description box below in case you haven't entered yet. Because there are some Catrice goodies that I'm giving away in that giveaway. So maybe you're interested in that. So thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe before you leave, and then I hope to see you in my next video. Bye-bye!